What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Lakers Talk with Gerald. This is episode 173. We're going to talk about our big win against the Minnesota Timberwolves last night. We are now officially in seventh place in the Western Conference standings. That was a big win, man. I was super excited about last night's game. I'm super excited for the victory. I got a lot to talk about. I got my little notes here going over because I wanted to make sure I talked about every subject that was on my mind. Sometimes if I don't take notes, if I don't write a little script ahead of time, I will kind of get to talking about certain things and I'll leave out a couple things that I really wanted to point out. There's a lot of things that went on. So we won the game 123 to 111 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, like I said. But before I get started with all that, I want to make sure I let everybody know that to go ahead and subscribe. If you like listening to my podcast, please subscribe to wherever you listen to my podcast at. Like if you listen to it on Podbean, Apple, there's so many iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to, like please subscribe there. Hit the notification, make a comment, please, because I do want to grow and build my podcast. I want to grow and build even on YouTube. I'm available there. So if you go to Lakers Talk with Gerald on YouTube, you can watch my videos. You can follow me on Instagram, Lakers Talk with G or Lakers Talk with Gerald. Either one of those, you'll find me, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Because like I said, I really want to grow this. If you guys want to get the notifications every time I put one out. As soon as I put one out, you'll get a notification like, bam, you can go listen to it. Or if on live or something like that, you can join. I welcome definitely like people calling in or making comments. And I definitely like going also and reading the comments on Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time. So definitely do that. So let's get back to this Lakers review. Like I said, we started this game. We won 123 to 111. In the first half, I was so nervous, because we were getting outplayed. They got Karl Anthony Towns, and they got a big starting lineup. They play 2 7-footers, and mind you, we don't have any 7-footers that's not hurt. Mo Bamba is the only 7-footer we got. We got Anthony Davis playing center. So, and then it's hard to match up against them. So in the first half, they were kind of having their way with us. They end up having up 10 at halftime. And I want to say like the first quarter, like I said, we were kind of slow to get going. They were kind of pushing AD around, getting rebounds, getting scores, and Rudy Gobert was playing like a young Shaq or something in the first quarter. I mean, we couldn't do nothing with him. He's, first and second quarter, he's making he looked like he had an offensive package that we had never seen before. We just couldn't do anything with him. But I do want to point out Malik Beasley, right? The first quarter, he didn't start. He came off the bench. He ended up hitting his first 3-pointers, and he only played 10 minutes. So he definitely gave us a nice spark in the first quarter when we really couldn't get anything going. And I feel like that we needed that because we couldn't get anything going on offensive end, and defense we weren't stopping. So that's 9 quick points within a few minutes that he played in that first quarter. That really helped us. So I know a lot of talk. We've had a lot of talk about Malik Beasley really just, playing stinker games and not hitting his shots and not playing good defense and making a lot of turnovers. So I'm glad that he came in and he actually played a good part in that first quarter, getting 9 quick points, 3-pointers that helped keep us in this game. So big clap to Malik Beasley. He gave a part. Now, I said we were down that first half. We ended up being down by 10 points. The second half, the third quarter is when we really dug in. I want to point out to Coach Ham, I'm going to give him his flowers right now because this last game, he made the correct defensive adjustments in this game that he hadn't done all season, in my opinion. He was playing a lot of small guard lineups, 3-guard lineups, and he wasn't playing Rui enough, and he wasn't playing enough of our big wings that we had picked up recently. I had said before that, early in the season, we didn't have enough wings. We had an abundance of guards, and so we had to play a bunch of guards. We had no choice. And then when we played teams, we were outmatched. They could They were just bigger than us, and they could just take it to the hole every time. Now that we got Rui Hachimura, we picked him up, and since we picked up Mo Bamba and we picked up Vanderbilt, we got a longer team now. We can now come off the bench and bring Rui and keep three lineups with three guys 6'8" or taller. That is something that I can't overemphasize that in the second half, Coach Ham only played Dennis Schroeder, Rui Hachimura, and Wenyen Gabriel off the bench. He just tightened the lineup. He just played the starters and then those three, which at first when he brought Dennis in, I was kind of skeptical because, sometimes, he's a smaller guard. Sometimes, he either plays really great or there's not a whole lot in between. But he played really great, good defense. Dennis Schroeder coming in, played his butt off, getting steals, scoring. I mean, he made a difference in this game. And once again, like I said, Coach Ham making adjustments at halftime, playing big wings. And Rui really played a huge factor also because we need Rui Hachimura. And once he put Rui on Karl Anthony Towns, he made really big defensive impact by slowing Karl Anthony Towns down because we couldn't do nothing with him. And he was just kind of punishing AD, backing him up. He's bigger and he's kind of bulkier, right? So then we tried putting Wenyen Gabriel on him, and that didn't do anything. We tried to put Vanderbilt on him, and Vanderbilt is he's thinner, right? He doesn't have a big frame. So Karl Anthony Towns was able to just take advantage of him also. So it wasn't until we put Rui on him in the second half, and Rui's a little bulkier. If you haven't noticed, he's kind of bulky. He's got a wide shoulder frame, and Karl tried to back him down. He couldn't really do it. Rui was able to stick with him, and I think it allowed, because earlier in the half, before halftime, AD would try to come and play help defense when Cat would get into the lane, and as soon as he did that, that's when their other big men, Gobert, would get a rebound and put it right back in, and so Rui being able to stay on Cat, and then without AD having to help, it allowed AD to stay back by the rim and guard for that rebound. And that made a huge difference in that second half. Once again, big points to the coaching staff and Darvin Ham, because that's what's needed. That's what was our advantage, and that's what we needed to slow them down. Beautiful adjustment. Beautiful. I'm giving you flowers once again. And Rui Hachimura also get these flowers. Dennis Schroeder get these flowers. Man, as you can tell, I'm pretty excited about this win. Like I said, it takes us to 7th place. We only I think 1.5 games back of the 6th spot, which is Golden State. Golden State and the Clippers are both 1.5 games back of them. So that's big time. All right. So I also want to talk about the biggest point in this game, the biggest influence of this game was Anthony Davis. So in the third quarter, there was a point where he twisted his ankle, he went down, and he was grimacing and holding that ankle and making really grimacing faces. And I was nervous, super nervous, because I'm like, man, the first thought that came to my mind is if AD is hurt and if this is serious, that's gonna kind of wipe out our championship playoff chances. That was the first thing that came to my mind. So, it went to a commercial break, and then when they came back, I saw that he was staying in the game. So I was like, man, that's big time. If he's staying in the game, that means it's not a serious injury, because you'll know if it's a serious injury. He won't be able to play on it. He ain't going to be able to just play through it if it's a serious injury. So the fact that he was able to play through it was big, and then he just turned into all NBA Anthony Davis after that injury, after he went down with that ankle turn. He just couldn't be stopped at that point. And, that with the adjustments that Hammett made with the Rui and the way Dennis Schroeder was playing and the way that our starters were playing, LeBron, with D'Angelo Russell playing well, kind of having the pace, with Austin Reeves playing well, Vanderbilt doing his thing with the defensive. I mean, it just was a beautiful thing in that second half, and we just overcame them in that third quarter. We went from at one point 13 down to being up by, after the end of the third quarter, we were up by 7 points. And then that fourth quarter, we continued to play well. We continued to extend that lead. We continued to put pressure on Karl Anthony Towns. and they just started to unravel. I mean, and like I said, it's a beautiful thing. Our team, after that trade deadline, we are 14-7 now. So even though we're in seventh place and we're one game above 500. That's the first time in about a year and a half that we've been over 500. But a lot of people look at it and say, hey, oh, I mean, why are everybody worried about a seventh place team or a team that just one game over 500? Well, the big difference is you can't judge this team after the trade deadline against the team that we had before. I mean, we got about 6 or 7 new players. So it makes a big difference right now. Like I said, we're number one in defensive rating since that trade in the last 21 games. We're 14-7 since that, in those games. And a bulk of those games LeBron missed. That's saying a lot right there. We're 14-7 and LeBron missed at least half of those games, if not more. He's only been back. This is only his third game back. So he missed at least out of 20-something games, he missed at least 15 of those games. So, man, imagine. So we get into the playoffs, we might be a 7th seed, we might be a 6th seed, but believe me, this team is not playing like a 6th or 7th seed. They're playing like a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. So that's why if we can just make it and if we can make it healthy, that's going to be big time for us, man. Look, let's take a look at the box score now. Let's just go down. Like I said, Anthony Davis, if I didn't, mention Anthony Davis was a beast in the second half. Like I said, he ended the game with 38 points. Man, very efficient, 15 from 26 from the field, 8 from 10 from the free throw line. He had 17 rebounds, 2 block shots, 1 steal. Man, Anthony Davis, big time once again. LeBron James, he had 18 points himself, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks himself, and a steal. LeBron James, and this wasn't even his best or most effective game. He was only 7 out of 19 from the field. He was kind of struggling offensively. Definitely on his outside shot, he was struggling, but he was able to just affect the game. And, like LeBron does, he affects the games on so many ways, getting rebounds, getting steals, getting blocks, facilitating the offense, all that. And then after that, you had Austin Reeves had 15 points. He was a plus 14 in the game. 4 out of 9 from field, 2 out of 3 from three-point range, 5 out of 6 free throws, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. Then you had D'Angelo Russell had 12 points, 10 assists, big time facilitating. He had 2 steals, also 5 out of 12 from the field. He was only 1 out of 4 from three-point range, and 1 out of 2 from free throws. But he contributed though pretty well. Then you had Vanderbilt had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, he was 2 for 2 from the three-point line, and that's something. Vanderbilt is not a great three-point shooter. At our starting lineup, he's the weakest three-point shooter. So he's the guy that's going to get left open a lot of times, right? And so he's not. If he hits 1 out of 3 three-pointers, that's great. Hitting both 2 out of 2, outstanding, man. And he was just a defensive presence. And off the bench, Dennis Schroeder came in, was a spark plug defensively and offensively. He ended up having 11 points, 6 assists, 2 steals. He was a plus 15 in this game in 23 minutes, 5 out of 6 from the free throw line. Hachimura, even though his stats don't show it, I mean, he was, like I said, big time on the defensive end, slowing down Karl-Anthony Towns. He ended up having 4 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block also. 1 out of 4 from the field, 2 for 2 free throws. But like I said, the biggest thing that points to me is the plus minus. He had the highest plus minus in the game. He was a plus 20, and that's in only 21 minutes in this game. So that's big time. I mean, he only played 21 minutes and have a plus 20, the highest plus 20. So that shows, even though he didn't have high scoring stats, things like that, he still made a huge impact. So that just goes to say that our trade that we made at the trade deadline was just excellent. We filled damn near every hole that we needed to fill. 3-point shooting, bigger wings, 6'8" and above. We needed another center, which Mo Bamba covers. Unfortunately, he's been hurt for the last 4 weeks, but we do have that in our bag now. We have pretty much up and down the board. We got small guards, we got medium, big guards, we got wings, small and big, and we got a 7-footer that can block shots and can hit 3-pointers in Mo Bamba. So I can't wait till he comes back and we stay healthy. We can definitely make a run, man. My goodness. Wenyen Gabriel also played a little bit. He played he played 15 minutes. He had 4 points, 2 of 2 field goals. He was a +9 also. Troy Brown played in the first half. He didn't score any points though. He played 9 minutes, 0 points, -2 from the field. He didn't have any other stats. So he didn't play in the second half, along with Beasley didn't play in the second half. That was another of Darvin Ham's nice adjustments. There's going to be other games that we're going to need those guys in the second half, but in this game, it's like a playoff game. So he had to make the necessary adjustments to be able to overcome what Minnesota was taking advantage of us on. They have a bigger lineup. So we needed to match that with a bigger lineup also. All right, so let's look at the remaining schedule for the Lakers. And this is big. There's only 5 games left in the season. And with our record now at a 39-38, so we're currently in a 7th position, but we're right behind the Golden State Warriors. And then after that is the Clippers right above them. So Golden State Warriors, their record is 41-37. As I mentioned, we're 39-38, so that's 1.5 games behind them. Now, for us to overtake the Golden State Warriors with those 5 games left, Warriors would have to lose at least one of their 4 remaining games. They lose one, and we went out. We would have a tied record with them if they won 3 out of 4. If they won 3 out of 4 and we won 5 out of 5, we would have a tie record. And since we have the tiebreaker, that would put us in that 6th spot. So, or if Golden State goes 2-2, then we can go 4-1, and we'll still take that 6th spot from them. But and also the Clippers have the same record as the Warriors. However, right now the Clippers have a tiebreaker with us. So Clippers having 4 games left, let's say they go 2-2, we would have to win out. Clippers go 2-2, then we'd overtake them. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, I personally don't want to get the 5th place. I'd be perfectly fine with the 6th place, because if we got 5th place, we would have to play the Phoenix Suns in the first round, and that is not what we want. They got Kevin Durant. They got their favorite to win it all, favorite to get to the finals. We don't want to face them in the first round. No, not at all. So we want the Clippers or the Golden State or somebody like that to face them in the first round. All right. And the other thing is, if they're in the 4 and 5 and we get 6, we wouldn't have to face them until like the conference finals or something, So hopefully Clippers stay where they're at, and Lakers either pass Golden State, or either Clippers go down to 7th and we get the 6th and Golden State get the 5th. Something like that. That's what I would prefer, everybody. So once again, let's talk about our remaining games left. Next, we play Houston. We play them tomorrow on Sunday. So that's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Pacific. And then after that, on Tuesday, April 4th, we play Utah. And then on Wednesday, April 5th, this will be a back-to-back game, our last back-to-back against the Clippers at home, or it's going to be their home game. But, of course, a lot of Lakers fans come out for that. And then we face the Phoenix Suns on Friday, April 7th. And then Sunday, April 9th is the final game against Utah. So we face Utah twice in the last 5 games. So we're going to see how it goes. The way we're playing right now, it looks good, but big game is going to be against the Clippers and Phoenix. We're going to see, because that's going to really determine where we end up. Like I said, if we run the table, most likely we can get a six spot, but we also are dependent on, the Clippers and the Phoenix Sun losing at least one more game. All right, everybody. I think that's going to do it for this Lakers Talk with Gerald, episode 173. Like I said, subscribe, turn your notifications on. Follow me on YouTube also, Lakers Talk with Gerald, Twitter, Lakers Talk with G, Instagram, Lakers Talk with G. Hey, so everybody, that's going to do it. I'm officially out.